We all know the richest investors have their private clubs, secret deals, and information the public just never gets to see. Information that a select few use to get even richer. Right in this video, you're about to see two of these secrets finally spilled and exposed. But I must warn you, for reasons you'll understand quickly, this video may not be up for long, and the opportunity you have in front of you today may not come around again. So pay attention to this video very carefully, as if your financial future depended on it, because it just might. Hi, I'm John Bass, and I didn't stumble on these secrets by being one of them, the Wall Street insiders, I mean. In fact, I started out my career as a financial reporter covering the world's largest banks for newspapers and magazines you probably see on the newsstand every day. Why? I wanted to discover how America's investor class just kept getting richer. And I discovered not just one but two secrets most everyday investors never discover. One of them so shocking, I was literally forced to quit my job. More about that in a minute. Let's just say the mainstream media wasn't ready for the story yet. But don't feel sorry for me. Once I was free and clear to use my discoveries for myself, I quickly went from raw amateur who'd never owned a stock before outside of a mutual fund to generating trading windfalls like this one that made my full-time reporter's salary look like a bad joke. The first of these two discoveries is something you might have guessed by now. That's right, simple penny stocks that trade over the counter every single day and get looked down on or ignored by pretty much every official stock expert and talking head in the business. After all, from 2000 to 2009, the large cap S&P 500 index newspapers and TV stations publish every day fell by 19%, while the penny tracking S&P 600 shot up a whopping 71%. Yet many Americans have never even heard of it. Now, penny stocks themselves aren't a secret, but most investors either avoid them or take a shotgun approach and hope for the best. While the few who ignore the conventional wisdom and take penny stocks seriously make profits so massive, they almost sound illegal. I'm talking about some of the most successful stock investors in history, like John Templeton, who invested only in companies trading under $1 a share and retired to the Bahamas a billionaire. Carl Icahn, who made a fortune with a penny stock priced department store chain. George Soros, who cleaned up betting on a penny-valued bank. And even legendary investing guru Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, who turned pennies into a $50 billion-plus fortune. To earn 50% per year, he wouldn't buy the blue-chip consumer giants that made him the world's richest man, or even his own $150 billion company. That's because Buffett would be filling the truck with undiscovered small companies. The truth is, even if it seems unbelievable with all the daily headlines about the stock market tanking, there's never been a better time to get in on penny stocks than right now. And even some of the experts are starting to admit it. For over 75 years, no investment has consistently produced higher long-term returns than the stocks of small companies. $1 invested in small caps in 1926 would be worth $5,104 70 years later, versus $1,741 invested in large caps. Elizabeth Unger, PhD, investing in small cap stocks. A 10-year study of the most profitable stocks on the New York Stock Exchange revealed that the most profitable stocks were the cheapest ones that traded under $5 a share. In other words, little companies. The best gains are from stocks that are cheap. Richard Evans, finding winners among depressed and low-priced stocks. Would a 3,000% return on your investment make you happy? How about a 5,000% return? Incredible stories like this happen nearly every day in the penny stock market. Dan Holtzclaw, Penny Stocks, the Next American Gold Rush. Most people think penny stocks are riskier than bigger, better-known stocks, but they're wrong. Penny stocks have outperformed large cap stocks over the last 80 years. Roger Ibbotson. Even the media is finally starting to get it. Triple-digit gains, hot penny stocks, they're all back at the top of the best-performing local stocks. The Washington Post. Double your money in a day. A penny stock can go from 24 cents to 48 cents in a day. Chicago Sun-Times. Fortunes are being made. There's money in penny stocks. The Salt Lake Tribune. It's not coincidence or luck that's allowed me, even with no formal training as an investor, to go from jobless to routinely making trades like these. Or waking up, checking my bank account, and seeing stress-erasing financial security like this on my computer screen. And the best part is, penny stocks are not only ridiculously profitable, they're so cheap you can easily achieve epic profits for pennies on the dollar. Think about it. With one conventional blue chip stock priced at $200 a share, investing in a mere 100 shares would run you a cool $20,000. Purchase a penny stock instead, priced at $1 a share, and you can control the same 100 shares for just $100. An amount that would get you laughed out of the room by a traditional Wall Street broker. Even better, these same penny stocks routinely rocket upwards at rates big stocks like Microsoft, Apple, or General Electric almost never achieve. It's not unusual for a $1 or $2 penny stock to jump to $4, $6, $8, or beyond, with gains of 100% or more in a short-term period of time, while boring, bigger stocks rarely budge more than a few percentage points at a time. The bottom line is, if you want fast, double or even triple-digit gains, you have to focus on penny stocks, not the big but slow giant companies that have already made it. Now, I realize you're probably wondering, so why isn't everybody doing this? That's a good question, with a really simple answer. Big reason number one, because the news media doesn't cover them. You won't read about the next Walmarts and Microsofts in the Wall Street Journal or see the talking heads on TV hyping them up. The result is most people don't even know penny stocks exist, or just don't trust them because they don't get the same kind of attention in the news. Big reason number two, because just like with other stocks, you can't just invest in any given penny stock and expect to make the kinds of profits I've shown you here. The fact is, picking a winning penny stock is a lot more science than luck, trust me. I've squinted at stock charts until I felt like my eyes were ready to bleed, looking at factors like PE ratios, price to sales, price to book, scalability, EBITDA, market caps, debt ratios, and many more that must be analyzed and weighed if you're serious about making consistently profitable trades. But do you have time to sit at your kitchen table analyzing stocks using sophisticated mathematical formulas? If you're like most regular investors, I'm guessing probably not. And that's what makes Wall Street's second and even more explosive secret so shocking. Even many of the world's top traders are no longer making their own stock trades. Wall Street's secret advantage? High-speed trading. They're unknown and invisible to most of us, but electronic trading programs now rule the stock markets. Does high-speed trading hurt the small investor? 4 experts say faster is often better, but they also have concerns. Speed pays in milliseconds. That's right. Wall Street's newest unfair advantage isn't trading floors packed with high-paid analysts hired from Ivy League universities. Not anymore. Instead, it's highly sophisticated computer algorithms that control more than half of all stock trades made by the world's largest banks and brokerages. What does billion-dollar Wall Street software have to do with making you a penny stock millionaire? Well, remember I said one of the secrets I uncovered as a financial reporter literally cost me my job? This was it. You see, just a couple of years ago, before any of those headlines you just read came out, Wall Street was getting so out of control with this new high-frequency trading technology, the government was worried these trading robots would crash the stock market. At least that's what I was about to go public with, until I got called into my editor's office on a Friday afternoon, where the powers that be told me, in no uncertain terms, bury the story, or I was as good as fired. What would you have done? As a reporter, I knew a story like this needed to get in front of the millions of average investors who had no idea the secret advantages being wielded by the largest players in the game. So I ignored my boss's warning. And sure enough, my career as a reporter on the Wall Street beat was finished. But was it ever worth it? The story created so much buzz, even the feds chased after it. Here's a quote from the Reuters newswire, just to show you how many cages were getting rattled on the street. The Securities and Exchange Commission, meanwhile, has also begun making requests for proprietary algorithmic trading data. You heard that right. Even the government wanted this software. That's how powerful it had become. And just when the first headlines were percolating into the mainstream media and heads started rolling, I got a phone call. It was one of my old sources from my reporter days before I got canned. One of the programmers who worked for a major Wall Street firm downtown who anonymously blew the whistle to give me a lot of the insider facts for my career-ending story. He'd just lost his job too, a casualty of the financial crisis, and he was looking for a little payback. At the time, I was already picking my own penny stocks based on the knowledge I'd picked up from years of watching some of the best traders in the world operate, just trying to replace my old salary. It was already paying off. My system was profitable. But it took so long to sift through the endless data, I was about ready to throw in the towel. There had to be an easier way. And sure enough, when my whistleblower filled me in on the details of how this high-frequency trading technology worked, my brain went into overdrive. The secret, he told me, was nothing less than the latest computer breakthrough turned into an unstoppable cash machine by Wall Street's elite. This HFT algorithm the government was investigating, he said, was the cutting-edge artificial intelligence technology capable of letting computers mimic the human brain. By recording real human behavior, like the trading strategies and tactics of some of the world's most successful stock traders, it could create a neural network to copy those behaviors and recreate them on demand, only at superhuman speeds, even the fastest and smartest human traders could only dream of. So I had to ask, could this technology be applied to penny stocks? The whistleblower assured me that it could. And long story short, since we were both out for a little payback against our former corporate bosses, and because we both needed some quick cash to keep the bills paid, we agreed on a partnership. My proven penny stock trading tactics, the ones that made tons of profit but took way too much time, and his insider knowledge of how to code a Wall Street grade trading robot to clone and perform these same trades all on its own. It took a few nail-biting weeks before the prototype was ready. But when I put it to the test, I realized that what we had created would finally level the playing field for everyday investors and turn Wall Street's unfair advantage upside down. Because of its frankly spooky ability to copy my own most complicated analysis and trading techniques, something I thought no computer could do successfully, I called the software Stock Neutrino. If you've never traded penny stocks, or even any kind of stocks in your life, Stock Neutrino can literally get you started and profitable overnight. And if you have traded penny stocks before, or at least looked into it, this may be the best news. You can finally forget tips for good. That's because the software does all the work of analyzing data and generating precise trading signals for you automatically, right from your home PC, including technical analysis, using my most advanced indicators, the kind of analysis that used to take hours to do by hand per trade. Free, live updating stock quote data and forecasting charts. All you need is a working internet connection. An idiot-proof, out-of-the-box operating mode, so you can select a proven, optimized penny stock model with just a few clicks of your mouse. And much more that I just can't talk about here. You really have to see it for yourself to believe it anyway. That means even with zero experience, you're perfectly positioned to get in on the ground floor of the next Microsoft, Walmart, or Cisco systems without becoming a jumpy day trader glued to your computer screen. Imagine, what would your life be like today if you'd gotten in early on today's biggest companies when hardly anybody even knew their names? You know the answer to that question. The first-in investors in these massive successes live high off the hog, financially set for life, but only because they jumped in before the crowds of average investors poured in, driving the share prices from dirt cheap to blue chip. Just think, what could have happened if you knew to get in on American Airlines just a few years ago when it had sunk to just $3 a share before it rebounded to $35 a share? What could you have done with the money you'd have raked in if you knew to buy up as many shares of Chrysler as you could afford when it hit rock bottom at just a few dollars, then skyrocketed to 10 times the price? You don't even need to hit one of these jackpots to rake up huge gains in penny stocks with stock neutrino. Here's two ordinary stocks almost nobody knows about yet that generated sky-high gains up to 1,100% in my brokerage accounts just in the last year alone. What would an extra $10,000, $25,000, $100,000 or more mean for you and your family just from tapping into the same hidden advantage that Wall Street has been quietly hoarding for years? You can do a lot more than just imagine, though. This technology is proven and real, and it means you can finally stop attempting to figure out the stock market. Stop relying on the same tired penny stock tips everyone else on the internet is getting. Start with a small investment and turn it into huge profits without taking crazy risks. You can start with as little as $50 or $100 and build from there. And start building financial security for the future at a time when many people feel like they're out of options. How many dreams have you already put on hold because you just couldn't afford to make them real? I hope you realize, after what you've seen here, that a few scientifically selected penny stocks really can change all that. And because I built the stock neutrino system from the ground up to give the average investors a fighting chance, don't panic about the price. I'm not going to base it on what it cost me to develop. Let's just say it was a good-sized chunk of my 401k. I'm not going to try to gouge you with some kind of monthly continuity deal either. This is about putting more money in your pocket, not lining my own. I've already achieved my own financial security, and I have no real desire to make much of a profit with this software. Just make Wall Street wince a little harder. In fact, right now you can get access to the complete stock neutrino software for just one payment of $47. That's just enough to cover my server and programming update costs to keep your software running and ahead of the curve for years to come, even though you're only paying this one time and then not a penny ever again. I realize I'm talking about your hard-earned money here, though. So I'm going to go one step further to make it an absolute no-brainer to take action and see the power of stock neutrino software for yourself right now. You've got 60 days to prove this works on paper without risking a dime of your own money. When you access stock neutrino today, you're doing so with zero risk. Here's why. I'm giving you a full 2 months to put the software through its paces and prove to yourself it does everything I claim and more. You'll quickly see why the results it generates are worth many times the usual picks and tips you may have seen before online. But I want to take all the risk off your shoulders and put it on mine. That's why, at the end of your 8-week test drive of Stock Neutrino, you must be 100% thrilled by the profits you're seeing in your account, or I insist you email me for an immediate refund of every penny you paid. In fact, if the software does not generate at least one trade for you that returns a minimum of 100% gains on your investment, please let me know and I will cheerfully return your money. That's how confident I am Stock Neutrino will be just as profitable for you as it is for me. You don't even need to risk a penny of your own money to prove Stock Neutrino works either. If you prefer, paper trade the penny stock trades it generates until you're itching to put some real money in. In many cases, you'd need only days to feel like you're leaving money on the table by only trading on paper. But heck, give it a few weeks if you want. Now, if brokers on Wall Street offered you this, they'd be out of business in 2 minutes. But again, I know this works because I use it on my own real money accounts every single day the market is open. Don't wait on this though. Even though you're getting in on the Stock Neutrino software for the ridiculously low one-time price of just $47, don't let that fool you into thinking this offer will be around forever. Due to the nature of this software, a trading advantage some would consider unfair or even dangerous, this has to stay extremely limited. I'm not going to put some hypey scarcity cap on the number of users I'll let in, but when I feel like I've reached the limit or the pressure to take it down gets too intense, it will disappear for good. And I don't ever anticipate relaunching this software in the future. But the most important reason to act right away is the quicker you get started, the quicker you'll reach your truly life-changing results you've always dreamed of. The hard truth is, most people are stuck imagining becoming financially free in the penny stock market, but have no idea how to do it. It's not their fault. The technology you've heard about in this video hasn't been available at any price until now. Just an endless stream of mostly worthless tips, services, and courses that lure investors into wasting their hard-earned money on stocks that are little better than junk. Because what the less ethical penny stock experts never tell you is, unless you're willing to devote months or even years of study to finding the right penny stocks, the way I was practically forced to as a reporter covering the markets every single news day, it's nearly impossible to achieve this kind of success on your own. Your path is already different. You've seen what's possible. And so the only remaining question is, what are you going to do about it? I hope you agree you need to do something. And the fact is, no matter what, before you leave this page, you're going to make a decision that affects your financial future for years to come. You can decide to ignore what you've seen here. You can try to figure out the penny stock market all on your own. Or you can just exploit the power of the first true penny stock software ever released with absolutely no risk on your shoulders. I know you'll make the right decision. It's easy to get started. I'll see you on the inside.